Yeah, the one thing that we were just looking at.
Yeah.
Just now talking about how nice of a white that is.
I'm just gazing at it.
It's so
love.
pretty.
It is.
It's a really pretty white.
Especially with the black.
Uh-huh.
Whoa.
Maddie is gonna lose her mind. We've got to hurry this up. She's gonna freak out.
Hey guys, I'm Jameson, and this is Jamie, and this is our weekly wrap-up number 32.
Sure, I lost count on that one. So
I
yeah,
think
32.
32 is right. All right, so we've actually gotten a lot accomplished since our last update. What did we start with? Oh, we took a trip out to Amish country. We've got an Amish cabinet maker that's making our kitchen cabinets.
Our laundry room cabinets and our master bathroom. Yeah. So we made a trip out there this week. We needed to deliver him a sink. We did this really beautiful, massive
Like farmhouse sink.
Apron front sink. And it needed to be there so they can make sure that it fits within the cabinet. It's by Blanco. I forget the name of their sink, but it's huge and gorgeous.
And it's really cool because it's actually got like this little lip on the front and the back of it, so you can put in different like little
accessories to go with it. So we got like I think we got like a cutting board, which I know was weird. Why would you have a cutting board in your laundry room? But we do, I guess.
It is. It's really raining now.
Sure is.
So we also, after we got back from Amish country, we got back to spray foaming the barn. We partnered with Touch and Seal, which is now owned by DAP, to cover basically the spray foaming of the barn. The one thing that we didn't do when we were framing up the barn was put a vapor barrier, and that was kind of my fault. It was just an oversight on my part. So what we ended up doing was going with 2 inches of closed cell foam. It's about 2 to 3 inches of closed cell foam, and that gives us our moisture barrier, but it also gives us that airtight envelope that we're looking for the barn to make it super efficient.
Yeah, so they actually sent somebody up here to give us a little spray foam 101 lesson.
And we had learned a lot of having the house spray foam, but when it came to doing it ourselves, there were some unknowns. So it was nice to have that knowledge, or someone with experience come and get us all started.
Kind of just show us how the machine worked and what to look for. And I think overall though, it went really, really well. We didn't really run into any errors. It just took a while because you have to do like about 1 inch at a time. It probably took us like
4 days.
4 days.
Yeah.
But they were like 4 solid days of work.
And it's also we use closed cell foam, so you can only spray about 1 inch at a time. And there was about 5,000 square feet of surface area.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
She's freaking out right now.
That one hit my soul.
I feel
There's the thunderstorm going on outside, as you can tell. Maybe we should roll that window or that door down. So we have like 5,000 square feet of surface area, and since we were doing 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 inches is what we were aiming for, we could only do about 1 inch or so at a time. So we had to take 2 coats, and in some places we actually had to do 3 coats because we just went a little light in the beginning. So that's why it took so long.
Well, we had to go light. So our barn is steel, and the days that we were doing it was like 95 degrees outside.
Yeah, the beginning.
And some of like this wall here, and like obviously the roof, it's when the direct sunlight's on it and the steel is so hot, you can't really like spray on top of it without it peeling away. So you have to be really cautious as to what time of day and how like hot the surface was that you were spraying on. So it's just all these things that we had to consider, and so we went a little bit lighter in areas because I was a little bit nervous to put it on there too heavy and then have it all peel off. But we only had, I think we ran into that issue one day where I started to spray the ceiling, and it was just sitting, I think it was just so hot on the ceiling, and I was putting it on a little bit too thick that we decided just a much thinner coat, because foam is going to stick to foam better than it is going to stick to metal or wood. So once you get that light coat on there, you can kind of go heavy with the next coat.
Yeah. So we got, after about 4 days of spray foaming this, we got this all done. But in the meantime, we also had a good friend of ours and a very good painter come out and start to paint. We went over with Jamie how to paint the windows. So we ordered our windows pre-primed on the inside versus painted, which
I don't recommend.
Yeah, well, anyway, so you have to take each window out. Luckily, we can, since they're double hung. We can take each window out, lay them out, and then paint them. Take all the hardware off.
Yeah,
paint them by hand.
He got actually all of our basement windows done, and then he kind of went over with me how to do it, because there's a certain way to paint the windows. I did a couple windows the other day because we were in the middle of insulating the barn, and you had to run out to go pick up a golf cart. So I decided I would paint some windows. Yeah. So I did get a few painted in the kids' rooms.
But we also started on the exterior paint of the house, which Jamie went with she picked out it's called Polar Bear from Behr Paint. And we were just talking about how nice of a white that it is. And we have that Board and Batten siding, and then we painted it with a nice white, but it's not like a stark white.
Yeah, I got really nervous with the exterior white. I feel like, I don't know, I know it's white, but there's like that white you can get that feels kind of like cold, and I just didn't want that like really stark cold white of a house. I wanted it to be more like warm and creamy, and so we went with Polar Bear from Behr Paint, and I absolutely love the color. It looks so good on the house.
It's turned out good. So we're doing 2 coats of paint. It's the cement board that we put up was pre-primed, so we were just doing 2 coats of exterior paint, and it's the Marquee from Behr. And since it's just one guy painting the house, he's doing it in sections. So we're painting, I think he painted about a fifth of the house, maybe.
Yeah.
And he did that in one day. He taped off all the windows and doors, did the 1 coat, came back and sprayed it again, and then peeled everything off. And he'll continue on. From there.
Well, and while he's painting the exterior of the house, it's kind of nice that he's doing it in sections at a time that are fully done, because we actually have our stone guy coming out and starting on, I think, early this week on Monday. He should be out here. And we kind of met with him and went over with him. We want to do columns on the front porch, and there's just a lot of things. So he's actually going to be able to start in the sections that the painter has finished, which is kind of nice, because it's going to take him about a month to stone the house.
There's a lot of stone going up on the exterior, even though it's just from basically the main floor level down. We've got the walkout basement in the back. We've got a bunch of retaining walls that all need to get stoned. And then the columns. Kind of what we figured out when we were talking with him was that the columns, he wants to block up to I think we're going about 4 feet above the deck. So what we need to do to make that work is we actually have to dig down to the footing level, which is 42 inches here in Michigan, below the frost line, dig down, and then basically take the existing post out for the front deck, and then pour that footing all the way up to ground level, and then he'll block up with like a cinder block.
Yeah.
And then we'll wrap that with the stone veneer. So there's a lot of work that's going to go into that.
Yeah, it's quite the process to get those how we want them.
But it's something that we want to do just to make sure that, it's a nice sound footing for that, not only the post to sit on, but the concrete, the stone veneer to be adhered to, so that we don't have any issues with frost heaving that up and down the line. This is a house that we built, and we want it to last for a lifetime. So 30 years down the line, we should still have a nice sound column out front, which is good.
I hope so. I mean, it needs to be there.
Besides that, we got a bunch of stuff wrapped up in the basement, and we had our mechanical inspection, which we passed. We had our electrical inspection, which we passed, and then we had our building inspection, which we passed. However, the building inspector noticed that where we dropped the ceiling on the one side of the beam, we dropped it below all the ducting to hide all of that in the bedrooms and whatnot, and we just toe-nailed 2x6s into the beam and then one into the other wall.
Yeah.
However, the toe-nailing is not acceptable. We actually had to go back and install joist hangers, is what he recommended.
96 of them.
96 joist hangers.
It was a super fun day.
Yeah, so that was the better part of a day. Me and Jamie just installing joist hangers. So we got all those knocked out,
Yeah.
and then we started soundproofing the basement. That was one thing that we wanted to do. We bought a bunch of mineral wool insulation, which is a really good product for soundproofing anything or any
Yeah.
walls or whatnot.
So we did it upstairs in the house. We did it on the bedroom walls. And then the idea in the basement was going to be just doing the media room and then the ceiling. And then I think we got a little bit carried away with it, but it's one of those things that it's not that expensive to do. It's just your time going into
Yeah.
it really. And I can't go back and ever redo this. So we ended up doing the half bath because one of my friends had suggested, like, if your bathroom for guests, is like somewhere like in the middle of a room or something, like you don't want people to hear you pee. I mean, I
Or
don't want
poop.
people, or poop, I guess, if you're doing that at your friend's house, then you don't want anybody to hear that. So we ended up like soundproofing the half bath downstairs, and we ended up doing the bedrooms
bedrooms.
downstairs too. So we kind of went a little overboard with it, but it's one of those things that we're not going to be able to go back and redo. So we figured we'd do it now.
Yeah, we did all the walls and the ceilings in both the bedrooms and the media room.
Yeah.
And then we did all the ceiling in the main living area. Now the only thing that we have left to do is insulate underneath of our master bathroom and walk-in closet. I ran radiant tubing up in there. So what we've got is there's a reflective sheet basically that lays on top of the insulation, and then the insulation has to be suspended 1 to 2 inches below the tubing. And basically what that does is, as that hot water runs through that tubing, you create a really hot pocket of air just below your flooring, and that is what actually heats the flooring. So we've got some insulation supports that we've got to wedge up in there, but that should be the last.
The last of it, and then we are ready to drywall.
Yeah,
So that will be
which
exciting.
I think they're actually going to start here any day.
Yeah.
All right, besides that, I think that about wraps up the weekly wrap up. And until next time,
Be safe and happy building.
we'll see you guys later.
I don't know how we're gonna leave.